Imagine a fragile ceasefire teetering on the edge of collapse, with whispers of violence threatening to shatter hard-won peace in Gaza. And the US is sounding the alarm about a potential attack by Hamas on civilians. This isn't just another headline. It's a stark reminder of how delicate international agreements can be, especially in a region scarred by conflict. But hold on to your seats, because what follows dives deep into the accusations, the progress made, and the controversies that could redefine this fragile truce. Stick around to see why this might be the moment that tests global resolve and why you might not agree with everyone's take on it. The U.S. State Department has issued a serious warning, backed by what they describe as credible intelligence, claiming that Hamas is gearing up for an imminent assault on civilians within Gaza itself. This alleged plan, according to their Saturday statement, would represent a direct and grave breach of the current ceasefire accord, potentially sabotaging the meaningful strides achieved through intense diplomatic negotiations. To put this in simpler terms for anyone new to the topic, a ceasefire is essentially a temporary halt in fighting, agreed upon by both sides to allow for things like hostage releases and prisoner swaps, giving peace a fighting chance. Violating it could mean a return to all-out warfare, and that's why the US is treating this so gravely. Interestingly, the State Department right now, the initial stage of the ceasefire between Hamas and Israel is underway, marking some tangible advancements. All surviving hostages have been freed, and the process of repatriating the bodies of those who didn't make it is ongoing. A heart-wrenching, yet crucial part of honoring the human cost of the conflict. As part of this deal, Israel has released 250 Palestinian detainees from its prisons, while Hamas has let go of 1,718 individuals from Gaza's detention centers. These exchanges symbolize a glimmer of goodwill, but they're also a stark contrast to the broader devastation, helping to illustrate why maintaining the peace is so vital. Washington has looped in the other key players guaranteeing the Gaza peace agreement. Think Egypt, Qatar, and Turkey, and is urging Hamas to stick to their commitments. The U.S. statement makes it clear that if Hamas pushes forward with any such attack, protective actions will be taken to safeguard Gaza's population and uphold the ceasefire's integrity. You can check out the full details on their official site here. https://www.state.gov, Releases Office as the Spokesperson, 2025-10. Hamas, for its part, has remained silent on these claims so far. President Donald Trump has weighed in forcefully on this matter, previously cautioning Hamas against targeting civilians. In a post on Truth Social just days ago, he declared, "If Hamas continues to kill people in Gaza, which was not the deal, we will have no choice but to go in and kill them." He later clarified that this doesn't mean deploying American troops directly into Gaza, which is a relief for those worried about escalating U.S. involvement. This kind of tough talk from a leader highlights the high stakes, but it also sparks debate. Is this the right way to enforce peace, or does it risk inflaming tensions further? Adding to the grim backdrop, last week, BBC Verify confirmed the authenticity of disturbing videos depicting a public execution in Gaza, carried out by armed individuals believed to be linked to Hamas. The footage shows a group of men, their arms bound, being lined up and shot in a bustling square by gunmen, some sporting the green headbands often associated with Hamas. While the identities of the perpetrators couldn't be fully verified, this incident has fueled outrage and questions about internal security within Gaza. For beginners, think of it as a chilling example of how power struggles can turn deadly, even during supposed pauses in conflict. On Saturday, Israel reported receiving 2 additional bodies from Gaza, which Hamas claims belonged to hostages, though formal identification is still pending. This brings the total repatriated remains to 10 out of the 28 deceased hostages, painting a partial picture of closure for grieving families. It's a process that's both procedural and profoundly emotional, reminding us that every life lost has ripple effects. But here's where it gets controversial. Separately, a tragic incident unfolded when an Israeli tank shell struck a bus, killing 11 members of a single Palestinian family, according to the Hamas-operated Civil Defense Ministry. This was reportedly the most lethal event involving Israeli forces in Gaza since the ceasefire kicked off. Israeli Defense Forces (IDF) countered that their troops fired at a suspicious vehicle that had encroached on the Yellow Line, an informal boundary separating areas still under Israeli control in Gaza. There are no visible markers for this line, and it's uncertain whether the bus actually crossed it. The BBC has requested precise coordinates from the IDF to clarify, but this grey area leaves room for interpretation. Is this an unfortunate accident in a tense zone, or a sign of underlying hostilities bubbling up? And this is the part most people miss. In such fluid battlefields, distinguishing between defensive actions and potential overreach can be incredibly challenging. To provide some context, Israel's military operation in Gaza was sparked by the brutal October 7, 2023 attack led by Hamas, where around 1,200 people were killed in southern Israel and 251 taken hostage. Since then, at least 68,000 Palestinians have perished due to Israeli strikes, based on figures from the Hamas-led health ministry, which the UN considers trustworthy. This staggering toll underscores the human catastrophe at play. And now for an even more divisive angle. In September, a UN inquiry commission accused Israel of perpetrating genocide against Palestinians in Gaza, a charge Israel vehemently dismissed as distorted and false. This accusation has ignited fierce debates worldwide. Does it accurately capture the intent behind the actions, or is it an overreach that complicates diplomacy? It's a topic that divides opinions sharply, with some seeing it as a call for accountability, while others argue it's politically motivated. So, there you have it, a ceasefire hanging by a thread, laced with accusations, progress, and heartbreak. But what do you think? Should the international community take stronger steps to enforce the deal, or is diplomacy the only path forward? Do you side with the US on Hamas's alleged plans, or believe there might be more to the story? And about that UN genocide report, eye-opening truth or unfair label? Share your thoughts in the comments. Let's discuss and learn from each other's perspectives.